Good morning, year one. Hope that you're all well. It's time for another maths lesson, and today we are going to look at sharing. So, when we talk about sharing in maths, we mean that we want to make sure that we share things equally. So, every group or person is going to get the same objects, the same number of objects. So, everything's going to be shared equally. So I'm going to give you a couple of methods of how we can do this. So first of all, let's look at this. So we've got myself, Mr. Hughes and Mrs. Ellis, and we've got some strawberries. And I want to share them equally between myself, Mr. Hughes and Mrs. Ellis. So what I can do is, I've got my strawberries here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So looking at my number sentences here, says each person gets some strawberries. I don't know how much that is yet. And then the next sentence is some strawberries shared equally between some is some. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I've got 6 strawberries, and I'm going to share it equally between 1, 2, 3. Between 3 of us. And I don't know what the answer is yet. So a method that I could use is, I've got my strawberries and I need to make sure I'm sharing them equally. So what I can do is I could draw a line from the first strawberry to Mrs. Ellis. And then the next strawberry, I could draw a line to Mr. Hughes. And then the next one to myself. So you can see we've all got the same so far. We've all got 1 each. It's all been done. And then the next ones, so 1 for Mrs. Ellis, 1 for Mr. Hughes, 1 for me. So you need to make sure you do them in order, one at a time, and you can't give more than 1 to one person. You need to give 1 to Mrs. Ellis, 1 to Mr. Hughes, 1 to Mr. Richards, and keep going until you run out of strawberries or any other objects on your sheet. So now I need to count how many each person has got, and to do that I need to see how many lines go to each person. So to Mrs. Ellis, I've got 1 line, 2 lines, and Mr. Hughes, 1 line, 2 lines, and Mr. Richards, 1 line, 2 lines. So each person gets 2 strawberries, and 6 strawberries shared equally between 3, therefore, is 2. So that's one method. Another method, for this one you need 3 colours. So 3 colours. So I've got blue, green and black. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to circle each person. So Mrs. Ellis can be blue. Mr. Hughes can be green. And I'll be the colour black. And then what I'm going to do is, one at a time, in order, we're going to circle a fruit. So we can do it equally. So 1 blue for Mrs. Ellis. Next one, 1 to Mr. Hughes. Next one to Mr. Richards. And then back to the start. 1 for Mrs. Ellis. 1 for Mr. Hughes. 1 for me. And then what we need to do is then we count how many of each colour there are. So blues, there's 1, 2 blues. So 2 for Mrs. Ellis. Green, 1, 2 for Mr. Hughes. And black, 2 of those as well. So we've shared it equally. Each person has got 2 strawberries. So again, 6 shared equally between 3 is 2. So have a go at your worksheet for today. Choose whichever method you prefer, whichever one you find easiest. Good luck, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.